All right, can anyone hear me? All right, cool. Thanks. Yarp. All right, I'll give it one more minute and then I'll kick off at 12. Okay, so today's demo then is going to be building a chatbot, conversational bot, using this API.ai tool and connecting it up to SAP backend. Then, so this is just kind of an overview of what we're going to look at. So won't be a good demo without a Z table. So I've got a Z bookings table. And this is like the scenario here is we imagine we're running our own SAP consultancy and we want to provide a chatbot to allow customers to make bookings for consultants using the chatbot. So we're going to store our bookings in a Z table in the back end. It's just a normal ABAP server. And then I've created a gateway service to just read and add bookings to that table. So that's the service here. So if we look at the metadata for that, see, I just got a few fields in there. So the number of consultants you want, what skills they need to have, a contact email for the person using the chatbot, and the kind of length of time for the project. So I can see the Z table I've made in here somewhere. Z bookings, right? So they just map up to those fields. So I think I've deleted everything out of it. There should be nothing in there at the moment. Yeah, so that's empty at the moment. Okay, so the next bit of the puzzle is this HTTP server. So this is going to communicate. API.ai is this cloud-based thing. So we need to communicate from the cloud into this thing. I mean, I could do it directly to the SAP server, but I had this thing left over from something else I was looking at. So I just reused that. And then we'll have a look at API.ai, easy for me to say. And then that can kind of like, there's got one-click integrations into various things. So Slack, Facebook, Alexa, or like Google Home or Google Assistant. So we'll have a look at a couple of those. Yeah, my whistling is not up to scratch. All right. So let's kick it off then. So API.ai, this is going to handle the kind of natural language parsing stuff, so we don't have to write any of that code. It just got some kind of machine learning stuff in that it'll train itself off conversations it has with the users. So this thing is free, and I think it was just acquired by Google, so hopefully it will kind of stay free. So it's pretty good fun to play with. So let's log in and have a go. All right, so when you log in, what you need to create first is an agent. So an agent is basically a chatbot. So in this case, I've created an agent here. When you create an agent, you'll get a number of intents. So an intent matches up to something that the user would say. So if you, in this case, the user would say something like, I want to make a booking, and then that would match this make a booking intent. But when you first create an agent, you get two default ones. So the default fallback one is kind of, if it doesn't know what you mean, then it'll pick one of these responses and send that back to the user. So if I type in some nonsense, it'll probably hit that intent. So you can see there it's hit the default fallback intent, and it'll choose one of these canned responses randomly. So it says I didn't get that. Do that again. So the default welcome one is obviously the first thing the user will see. So it'll just kind of give a greeting. So you can add anything in here that you like, and it'll just pick that. So every time you make a change to the intent, you just save it here. Right, so we can test the bot here. So if I say hello, it's going to hit the small talk greetings one. Actually, I'll show you that. So one thing you can do that's nice is just turn on this small talk thing. So that's basically some conversational type stuff, and you can edit it, but it comes with default stuff. So like if I say like, hi, how are you? It'll say, lovely, thanks.
Lovely, thanks.
Yeah, you can also use speech here. So I can say, hi, how are you?
Say that again.
It didn't recognize me. How are you?
Lovely, thanks.
So in here, you can kind of customize it a little bit. So any kind of questions people tend to ask him. So if I say, who are you?
I am the Consultant Resource Allocation Booking Computer-Aided Knowledge Expert System, or CRABCAKES for short.
Right, so that's kind of the basics of what you get when you set it up. So if you want it to do anything in particular, then you need to create a new intent. So I can go through just creating a new intent. So let's create another one. Who you're gonna call. Right. So what you need to add in here then is kind of any kind of phrases that the user might say to trigger this. And it's you just give it a few examples, and that's the clever bit. Then it'll kind of learn, and you can train it specifically. So if something comes in and it doesn't understand it, it'll end up in this training area. We can go in and say, okay, that is actually matches up to this intent, and then from then on, it knows what that is. So let's say the user says, "Who you gonna call?" So we just need to enter a response. So we'll say goat butter. We'll add in this funny picture. But here's where you can add in like quick replies and things are specific to certain platforms. So I think like Facebook and Slack have these quick replies where it'll just give a couple of buttons that the user can click on, so they don't have to type anything in. So we'll just add an image here. All right, so that's done. So I'll just quickly go over the integrations first before we look at the kind of SAP specific bit. So the nice thing about this is you can integrate it into all these different things like pretty easily. You just turn them on. You got to make some, like you got to set up a Facebook Messenger bot on the Facebook site, or you got to set up a Slack bot, etc., etc. But it's pretty simple. And if none of those kind of meet your needs, there's a whole load of SDKs that you can hook into as well. I haven't used any of them, but seems pretty cool. So you can see here, I've turned on Facebook Messenger. So now the bot should be able to talk to Facebook Messenger. So let's check that out. All right, so here he is. You can see I've already started a conversation with him. And so if I say, who you gonna call? It should hit the intent we just built. Facebook seems by far the slowest out of a lot of them. I don't know why it takes so long to come back, but there you go, goat's butter. And this will, we can talk to this as well. Hi. Hey, what's happening? How are you? Who are you? Yeah, so that all works nicely. So now let's train it to make bookings for consultants and hook into SAP. So I've created this intent already called make a booking. So some of the things the user can say is booking, I need some help, I need to make a booking. So this is where these entities come in. So any kind of field that you want to capture and send to the back end is an entity. You can see that. So normally when you type something in here, it will auto-generate the entities for common things. So for example, when I type in 3 days, it's clever enough to know that that is going to be a duration. So this is an example. And then 5, I've mapped it to manually created one number of consultants. So for example, I could say I need 5 UI5 consultants for 3 weeks. Now it's mapped. It knows that, well, it just made a guess. We can overwrite this, but it thinks that 5 should be the number of consultants and 3 weeks it's identified as a date period. So we want UI5 to reflect something as well. So, oops. We'll say that UI5 is the skill that we need, right? So we'll save that. So because skill is not really something that's built in, we've had to create it here manually. So you create an entity and then you can give it like examples of what the entity is. So I've got 3 entities here. So BI, HANA, and the UI5 one has just been created. Sorry, and there's developers as well. And then you just give it synonyms. So UI5, the user could also say Fiori or, I don't know, web, mobile, something like that, right? So now when I say I need 3 web guys, right? So it's matched that one. It's come in here, and you can see the slots being filled down here. Then, so it said it's found out it's filled in the number of consultants 3 and the skill UI5, but it's still missing the date period, the duration, and the email. Because we've made them manual, it'll now prompt the user for those missing things. So if we look at the make a booking, and I've got all my slots to be filled down here, and I've made them all required. So for example, it now needs to fill in the duration, and it'll do them in the order that they're listed here. So we've got a number of prompts here, so you can just stick in a few prompts and it'll choose one manually just to kind of vary it. So we can say like, how long will the project last? Close. And now it'll wait for duration. So if I say dog here, it knows that that's not a duration. So it'll prompt me again, how long do you want these people for? So then I say 3 days. Comes back and you can see that it's now filled in the duration. So the amount is 3 and the unit of measure then is days. And then now it's looking for the next slot that needs to be filled. So the email of the person requesting the consultant. So this will validate the email as well. So if I just put in nonsense, it'll ask me again, what is your email? That's not a correct email. So I'll just put in that. Right. Okay. So now it says, okay, will I confirm this booking?
Okay, will I confirm this booking?
And this then goes into something called follow-on intents. So I'll just leave that for now and we look at the intents. So I've got make a booking, and then I've created follow-on intent. So once all the slots are filled, it'll try and execute the follow-on intent. So it's got all the data it needs now, and then we've just got a confirmation run, right? So if I say no, it'll say, it'll match any of these things. No, 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 no. And it'll say, okay, come back later. And then that interaction's over, it'll finish, and you have to start a new booking. But the one we're interested in is if the user says yes, then you could just put in a canned response here, but obviously this is not going to talk to SAP. So what you need to do is what they call fulfillment. So fulfillment is where you can make a call to an external system. Right, so it's a webhook. So you need to put in like publicly available URL here. So then when that finishes, it's going to send all the JSON off to it. You can parse the JSON then and pull out the slots that have been filled. All right, so I've got a little web server built that's going to, all it'll do is just wait for the post, parse the JSON, and then just call that SAP gateway service. So I'll just switch that on. So I can have a little look at the code here. So basically all this is a web server. It's going to just respond to any guest to the route or any posts to this like webhook path. It's not super important, but here I'm just pulling out the field from the JSON that's returned. And then there's this little create a booking service. So it's just going to call the URL of the OData service. Oops, it's easy. And then just send in the JSON response just with a couple of additional headers. So that's kind of pretty simple. Let's start that. Okay. What is it called? Bookings.route. All right, so now we should have a web server running locally. So 127, it's on port 4000. Right, so it's just pasting back yo, and you can see that it's come from here, right? Line 17. Just do something for the default get. So now this is ready to accept post requests, and it will post that into SAP. But we need that to be publicly available. So there's this tool called ngrok. So I'll set this up to tunnel HTTP traffic from port 4000 on our local machine up to this public address. Come on, what's it doing? Right, so it's up and running now. So what this does is map any traffic now on this public address into our local machine. So we should get the same yo if we put this in and just do a get. All right, and we do, right? So that's up and running. So now what I need to do is take this one and put this into our fulfillment. So at webhook, we want to send stuff there. Right, so that's set up, and we can just go back to this guy, yes. And now in the intent, we want to say use the webhook for fulfillment. So when all the slots are filled, then call that webhook, right? So that's saved. So now what we should be able to do is say, go to Messenger and say, I need 3 HANA people for 1 week, please. Please. How long for? Should have picked that up. 1 week. All right, so please. It seems to have failed for some reason. Oh, is it done? Right, and then the entries come in here into SAP. So we've got Hannah, 3 consultants for 1 week, and then the email address to the client, right, or customer. And you can see them, no data service as well. Booking set. Right, so that's kind of the end-to-end process. So I'll just show you some more of the integration stuff. So one of the really easy ones to do is the actions on Google. Okay, so we'll just click on this. And just turn it on here. So I've just given it like a sample name here, but this could be anything. And then you just need to authorize it because I'm logged in with my Google account on this here, so it'll work. And then I can preview it in this web simulator. So now you could, if you had like a Google Home, one of those little things that we'll see a picture of now, you could talk to it there, but the web simulator is useful for testing. Right, so open the web simulator. All right, so let's have a go of this. Okay. So you need to say, give it the code word. So you'd say something like, let me talk to bookings, right? So I'll just type
Sure, here is the test version of booking. Good day.
Hello, how are you?
Wonderful as always. Thanks for asking.
I need some help.
Booking isn't responding right now.
Oh.
Try again soon. Sure, here is the test version of booking. Good day.
I'd like to make a booking.
How many consultants do you think you need?
I think I need 3 HANA people, please.
How long for?
2 weeks.
What skills do you need?
Developers, please.
Can you give me your email?
It's gregor@gmail.com.
Would you like to confirm this?
Yes, please.
Booking isn't responding right now.
Oh,
Try
dear.
again soon.
I think so. It's not sending the response for some reason, but I think that went through. Huh. Seems to have crashed.
Sorry, this action is not available in
Oh,
the
dear.
simulation. Sure, here is the test version of booking. Greetings.
I'd like to make a booking, please.
How many consultants do you think you need?
2. Oh, 2.
Okay, how many people?
2 people, please.
How long for?
1 week.
What skills do you need?
Developers.
Can you give me your email?
Gregor@gmail.com.
Would you like to confirm this?
Yes.
Okay, done.
All right. I don't know what happened there the last time that's worked. Maybe it was the HANA people. Yeah, so we should now see that one in SAP as well. Give it a refresh, and there it is. So 2 developers for 2 developers for 1 week at reggae@gmail.com. That could be my new email address. I like that one. All right, yeah. So I think that's pretty much all I have to show you. So yeah, if you've got any questions, like put them into the live chat. I can answer them, or Slack. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I think there's at the moment there's a few things that do the same thing. I know Amazon have released the stuff behind Alexa, and I called it Lex. I think that's a recent one. Yeah, and then there's another one that's called Wit.ai. I haven't really used that one. But I think they all kind of do a similar thing. So it's the concept of like they handle the natural language stuff for you, and then you're filling slots into these variables, and then it can call whatever backend you want. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. So Tiago asked like how good is the natural language stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good. Let's have a look. So in booking here, right? So I've got I need some help. I guess I could say I need some assistance. Maybe it would work. Yeah, so like it knows that assistance is a synonym for help, and I didn't have to like program that in or anything. And there's also this training thing, right? So if something comes in and it doesn't recognize it, you can assign it manually to an intent. There's also some way you can like trigger off the machine learning stuff, right? So all the conversations it's had previously, I think you can just kick this stuff off with. I haven't really played with this. I guess the threshold is like how fuzzy the matching is, but you can just like say, all right, train yourself. But again, I don't have like much experience with that. I think some of this stuff is more like in beta, so I hope it will just like improve as it goes on. There's also like a load of pre-built agents in here that you can have a look at. So these are just like sample projects almost, but you could base it off one of these and edit that. So there's no like real source control type stuff. You just import and export as a zip. I haven't looked at the contents. I guess it's a load of JSON or XML or something. But yeah, that's it. The docs are really good. It goes through like setting up integration. So I was able to like hook it into Slack and stuff, really quickly. And there's a whole load of things that I've played around with, Telegram or whatever. Yeah, so that's it. All right. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks again for tuning in. And yeah, see you later.